What do we? Ah! There's so much to unpack here. I'm telling you, man. These types of leaks, just really reveal how out of touch some of these corporations really are. Just how out of touch their leadership is. So if you're unaware of what has been happening throughout the entirety of today, Microsoft, well, first off, somebody at Microsoft's getting fired because to the guy whose only job was to take the information, secure the information, put it behind a password lock, and then upload it to the courthouse so that the FTC people could have access to it, but then also the lawyers could have access to it. You're fired. You're never working in the industry ever again. Give it up. I really hope you are an intern. That way you can brush us under the rug and move on to a new career, because your career path in gaming is dead. Your career path in being a legal scholar is over, because you leaked the last, like, 5 to 10 years of Microsoft emails, and people are just sifting through them now to see all the little juicy nuggets that they can find. And boy, oh boy, does this shine a light on not only Microsoft's just strategy for the Xbox, which may be coming to an end a lot sooner than we thought, but also how Microsoft views Xbox, how Xbox views themselves, and how fucking absolutely delusional they are. So, the first one, right off the bat, in regards to Nintendo, it just takes a long time for Nintendo to see that their future exists off their own hardware. Phil Spencer and Microsoft were trying to shop purchasing Nintendo. And your legal argument that you went into this fight with was that Nintendo's future isn't on their own hardware, it's on our hardware. Sir, oh, you can hire me. I will fly out to the West Coast and I will work in your offices to give you the information that you need, because all you needed was one twirl on this magical website by the name of Wikipedia. And we can see here, do you crack the top 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The Xbox 360 is the 9th best-selling console ever, with 81.51 million. And you're almost probably edged out by the Game Boy Advance and the PlayStation Portable. You are beaten by, in the top 5, Sony holds 2 spots, Nintendo holds 3. The Nintendo Switch, which launched in 2017, when did, let me see, are you even, hey, wait a minute, we can just flip this around, baby. We can flip this around, baby. The Xbox Series S has sold 21 million consoles. It came out in 2020. 21 million, right? The Nintendo Switch, which came out 3 years before that, has sold 129.53 million consoles. And before anyone starts jumping up and down, I'd like to remind you that the Series X that came out in 2020 came out in 2 versions. A version that competed with the price point of the PlayStation 5, and the S, which was lower and at the price point of the Nintendo Switch. You lost. They blew you out of the water. I think the only bad-selling Nintendo console on here is the Wii U. The Wii U is literally the worst-selling Nintendo console, because ain't nobody was going out to buy no Wii U. The Wii U looked like trash. Okay, it was garbage. We saw the Wii U and were like, do better. And then they were like, bet. And then they came out with the Nintendo Switch and we were like, that's the money, baby. That's what we was talking about. But in what delusional world do you sit down and go, damn, they have an 85 million console sold lead on us. But it's their hardware. Nintendo has been perfecting the hardware game for like the last 40 years. Nintendo understands people don't want to spend a lot of money on expensive shit. What they want is to be able to drop in, then drop out of a game. The Nintendo Switch is that perfect marriage between both of those two concepts, where I can take up the Switch, put it in my bag, and I can go. And I can play it on the go. Then when I'm home, I can slide it into the Switch port, connect it to my TV, sit down with a controller, and I can play with a controller. In what delusional universe do you believe that Nintendo would want to even sell their advantage and become a part of Microsoft, where all they do is shovel out games? I don't understand. What? Who's feeding you information? Like who's your information guy? Fire that guy. Fire your information guy expeditiously. But another thing that completely caught me off guard is, so there are two sides to this email. They're talking about how there was a big scramble to fill the huge hole in the 2022 gaming lineup, right? You have this down here. It says, for quarter two, there are a few impactful D&Ds. The best option would be to attempt to go after a high-performing short window titles to plus up the holiday period. These titles include Lego Star Wars, Techland Dying Light, the PC and console crossovers, Paradox, Skylines 2. In addition options, we are also aiming for a riot partnership window during this time. For quarter three, the highest probability and cost-effective path is Gotham Knights and Assassin's Creed Rift. What? Time out. Hold on, because I pulled this up as well. Hold on. No, that's not it. Let's look at PlayStation games in 2022. Horizon Forbidden West, God of War Ragnarok, Gran Turismo 7, Ghostwire Tokyo, Uncharted Legacy of Thieves. We also got Gotham Knights. Like, we also had Lego Star Wars. So the major games in 2022 that you were relying on to bring in the money for the company were all third-party studio games, which leans back into something that you said earlier on, Phil, in regards to PlayStation when the PlayStation was revealed, which is we have a better product than Sony has, not just on hardware, but equally important on software platform and services on top of the hardware. We have the ingredients of a winning plan. You have an ingredients of a winning plan indeed, but here's the thing. If ingredients stay in the fridge, there's nothing to eat. You can have all the ingredients that you want, but if you don't know how to cook, you're finna starve. And y'all ain't been cooking nothing at all. What's been going on? It's like, first off, the Xbox 360 is a gem. If you were around in 2006, 7, 8, the Xbox 360 was the GOAT. And when I say the GOAT, I mean the GOAT. It had everything. It had a perfect online ecosystem, even though it was hella racist in them Call of Duty lobbies. It had the games. They were trying things. They were doing things unexpected that were working out for them. We had Halo, Call of Duty, so many different avenues and directions we were going. And somehow, I know how, we fucked it up. And I feel as though Xbox has been trying to recapture that Xbox 360. Microsoft has been trying to recapture that Xbox 360 magic for like 15 years. And it's like, you shouldn't have lost it in the first place. You should never run into a situation where, just like you said in 2020, we've got the hardware, we've got the software, we've got the services on the platform. We can beat Sony. You should never have a situation where you have all the perfect ingredients, but there's no one in the kitchen who knows how to cook. And all those ingredients go to waste. You should never have a 2022 looking back on it where the major game with the highest probability slash cost effective path to bring in money is Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights, and you're saying that you're competing with Sony? I'm not a Sony fanboy. I play on fucking PC. I play everything. I have an Xbox Series S. I have a fucking PlayStation 5. I got a Nintendo Switch. I own it all. But if you're telling me that the game you're relying on that year is Gotham Knights, Gotham Knights, to compete against Sony, who's dropping Horizon Forbidden West, God of War Ragnarok, The Last of Us Part 1, which was the remake, and Gran Turismo 7? What are we doing? What? I don't I don't understand. What are we doing? Like, what's going on? That's not even on top of the fact that apparently no one at Microsoft can tell what is a good game because you called Baldur's Gate 3, and I quote, a second run Stadia PC RPG and thought it wouldn't do well. Did anybody at Microsoft sit down and play Baldur's Gate 3? Did you go over to Larian because you were buying up all these studios? Gobble, gobble, gobble. Did you go over to Larian, sit down and go, hey, let me see this Baldur's Gate 3 that you're working on. Let me sit down and play it. Because apparently, according to you, you said they predicted Redfall, the game that was so bad that they had to go back to the drawing board after it was released, would be double digits higher in Metacritic scores than what it was. And we have a clear pattern where Xbox has no insights. And there's no insights. None whatsoever. I think that was more opinion from Red Dragon when he put out that information. What's going on? What? Oh my God. I think we're going to see that our next big new game launch is Redfall. Redfall is your next. Redfall is your next new game launch, huh? When did Redfall drop? Redfall came out in May 1st of 2023. What came out on the PlayStation in May? May was anything first party? I don't think anything first party came out in May. Just see what came out on the PlayStation in 2023 in general. Like, you're sitting around waiting for Redfall. Final Fantasy 16. That's what we were waiting. Like you had Redfall. And PlayStation came out with Final Fantasy 16. That was the game that you hope was gonna like just. What's going on, dog? Who's running things? Who's on everything serious? Who's running things over here? Like, Halo's never been able to bounce back. I'm still waiting for another fucking Fable game. There's a bunch of other Xbox original games that just never got sequels that would have been fantastic if they had sequels. I don't like wading into the console war, but this shit is just, this is exhausting. Like, there's no bouncing back. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't think, what, hold on. What does Xbox games 2023? What do we have in 2023 coming out? No, let me drag. Let's go over here. What do we have? What do we have first party for Xbox coming out in 2023? We had Redfall, which was here. Starfield, which is here. That's it. That's it. Wait. Oh no, wait. Got one. Banishers. Okay. That's two. Atlas Fallen doesn't count. Came out on everything. That's it. That's it. No, wait, Exoprimal. Yeah, yeah, Exoprimal. Okay, okay, okay. So we got three. We got Exoprimal, Banishers, and Starfield. And that's it. That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know what they're gonna do. This is I don't think this is gonna like Phil's trying to ignore what's going on. Like somebody earlier had a tweet showing that he was playing like Starfield or something. But I don't think he's realized that the house is on fire. And there is another tweet talking about the let me see if we can find that one. Microsoft Xbox. So can't find that tweet. But initially, what was leaked in the document is that if the next Xbox doesn't do good, because apparently the Series S and X are underperforming because literally Sony's beating their ass. And reminds you that Sony beat them through console shortages where they could only sell like 5 fucking consoles a goddamn month for like 2 years. Sony was still beating them in the console department. But if the next Xbox does not perform on par with the PlayStation, Microsoft is planning to just scuttle the whole thing. And I'm assuming when they scuttle it, they're probably just going to transition over to being PC developers, where they're no longer putting out hardware. They're just saving that money and just putting it all into software. But you wanted to buy Nintendo. You wanted to buy Nintendo. That's crazy.